Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic again, and some multiplication is going to be involved today. The puzzle is called Go Forth and Multiply, so you know that anyway. But Nightmare 2805, a new constructor, told us this in an email, and I think Nightmare 2805 had some trouble recently with the Discord server, but with a tiny bit of intervention from us and the help of some excellent moderators. They are always working on Discord. He got unbanned, so that was good. I think his account got hacked or something. Anyway, all is good now, and that's good news. But also, we have this puzzle, and I'm looking forward to giving it a go. It's a fog of war puzzle, clearly. I'll explain the rules in a moment. Hopefully, I'll understand them when I explain them, because I haven't fully read them yet. And I'm going to very quickly mention all the stuff on Patreon. Sudoku hunts every month, crosswords, gridogram and connections videos, and of course all the stuff of our apps, which are absolutely brilliant. They do include Fog of War and the new classic Sudoku app, number 2, and there's also of course the Worms, and they're wonderful. So check all that out, but the first link under the video is to this puzzle, Go Forth and Multiply, by Nightmare 2805, and I'm going to read the rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Most of the grid is covered in fog, but placing correct digits will clear fog somewhere in the grid, so it's dynamic fog. Digits on an arrow must multiply to the number in the arrow's circle or pill. So what that means is some of the arrows will have circles, presumably, or could do. Some of them could have pills, which are circles of more than one cell. So if you had a pill here, it might say 24 being a 2 and then a 4. Or it might say 136. Who knows? I don't know whether 136, it probably doesn't have suitable multiples to be the pill for this arrow. Right. Digits on a thermometer must multiply from the bulb end, not increase. So every digit along the thermometer must be a multiple of the previous digit, and there may be other thermometers. Digits in a cage cannot sum to a prime number, so they must sum to a multiple of something that's not 1. Turquoise lines, we haven't seen any yet, must be split into 2 segments with digits that multiply to consecutive numbers. Digits may, of course, repeat on a turquoise line if allowed by other rules, and a segment of a turquoise line can be of any length. I'm guessing that includes 1, so I'm sure that the product of the number 5 would be 5. Right. Give this a try on the first link under the video. I mean, I like the arithmetic ones. Arithmetic is the branch of maths where I think I have some hope. Let's start it again. Let's get cracking. Oh, I mean, goodness, this box doesn't seem very fair. How about the multiply thing? The trouble is the first digit can be 1. If it couldn't, this thermometer would have to be 2, 4, 8. Because that's the only sequence of digits, I think, excluding 1, where you can keep multiplying. Of course, you don't have to keep multiplying by the same number. So 136 would be a valid fill, I think, of this line. Or 126 or 128. I think the first digit is going to be 1 or 2. Of this thermo, not line. What's the cage? What did it? I can't even remember what it said about cages. Digits in a cage cannot sum to a prime number. So this digit is not 2, 3, 5, or 7. Now, am I really going to have... I mean, I don't understand. I'm going to have to work out... Is this about the number 5? Oh, that's really puzzling. How can 5 appear on the thermo? How can it appear on the arrow? And how can it appear in the cage? I kind of want to say it can't appear anywhere. And one of those hypotheses must be wrong. How could it appear on the thermo? You can't have it as a multiple of anything else other than 1, and you can't have any multiple of 5. I'm ruling out the thermo. The rules are very explicit that a cage can't sum to a prime number, so that's not 5. Now, this is concerning me because it makes me believe that 5 has to be on this arrow. And what I was concerned about is that if there was an even digit of any type on this arrow, and I was assuming there would have to be one because it seems quite long, then the number we would be multiplying to off the arrow would end in a 0. Once you've got 5 and an even digit in a multiplication, you're going to get a number that is divisible by 10. So it is very clear that we do not get a number that is multiplied by 10. And therefore, although 5 is on this arrow, everything else on it has to be odd. So that's a set of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. This thermo has to use digits from 2, 4, 6, 8, and I believe therefore it has to go 2, 4, 8, and this cell has to contain a 6. I haven't done the maths on that 1 times 3 times 5 times 7 times 9, but it looks like we're right from the fog clearing. Well done if you got there ahead of me. Right, now I am going to have to do the maths because I'm going to be able to fill this pill with the number. So I was boasting I could do arithmetic a moment ago. 7 times 3 is 21, times 5 is 105, times 9 is 945. I think I took those in the right order to make that doable. There we go. We get a new square unfogged. What were these turquoise lines? They get split into 2 segments with digits that multiply to consecutive numbers. Well, we don't have a lot of information about that yet. Right, do we have any information about these? Only that 5's not there. Oh, this is strange. How are these thermos any use? Oh, they're multiplying thermos. They're not regular thermos. That's how they're going to be some use. Oh, and 5 doesn't go here off the thermos. So therefore 5 does go on one of these thermos with 1 as its bulb, because that's the only way 5 can appear. But hang on. What about 7 and... Oh, is it just 7? 5 and 7. For some reason, I'm so used to 5, 7 and 9 being non-black dot digits that I group them in my head as a family. But 9 is not in the family of digits that only have 1 as a multiplier or factor. 5 is in that family, and it needs 1 on its thermobulb. That means 1 is not available to go with 7, and now I believe 7 has to go in this cell that is not on a thermo in this box. And that didn't clear any fog, so I could be wrong, but I think that's right. Now 9 will have to go in a bulb, in a tip, with 3 as its bulb. Then the other digits that I haven't placed are 2, 4, 6 and 8. Well, 6 is going to have to go in a tip with 2 on its bulb. And 2 has got to be over this side because we have a 2 up here. So 2's over this side, and the bulbs which can have 6 on the tip are there and there. So I'm getting rid of 6 out of there. Now 8 is going to be on a tip, not that one because we have an 8 up here, with 4 on its bulb. Well, 4 is going to have to be on one of these 2 bulbs along with 2. So that's a 2-4 pair. Their tips are 6 and 8. And these other bulbs are 1 and 3, and their tips are 5 and 9, and I've just noticed that 5 is telling us which way round they go. Brilliant. Okay, so that's 9 with 3 on its bulb. This is 5 with 1 on its bulb. Is this going to clear some fog for me? No, because this is not 6. We've got a 6 there. This is 8 with 4 on its bulb. This is 6 with 2 on its bulb. This must clear some fog, maybe. It did. Okay, that 9, by the way, is looking at that cell. Oh, 1, 3, and 5 are looking at these. So that's now a 7-9 pair, and I can take 7-9 out of those cells. Right, now I have to think about this new multiplying thermo, which doesn't begin with 2. So I think the lesson I learnt in box 2 was generic, that the first cell has to be 1 or 2. So I think this is a 1. Yeah, well that looks good. But then, well, it depends, what is this? This could go 1, 2 or 3, 6, or it could go 1, 3, 9. I realise that last digit can't be 2, 4 or 8. So if it's even, it's 6, and if it's odd, it's got to be something you can multiply up to. So the last digit is 6 or 9. This digit is 2 or 3. Now, we've cleared some fog in box 1. This is another bulb digit that can't now be 1 or 2 or 4. Well, it's got to be something under 5, otherwise any multiple will be out of the Sudoku range. So that's a 3. And this digit, which can't be 9 in this position, must be 6. And that clears more fog. Oh, I'm going to have to think about a turquoise line. Right, the digits available here are 5, 7, and 9, from 6, 3, 2, 4, 8, 1, all being unavailable. We're going to have to break this, so I'm going to have to think about this line, which can be broken down into 2 segments with digits that multiply to consecutive numbers. That seems to leave a lot of optionality. No, I know what to think about this. Well, I know something to think about it. And that is that with consecutive numbers, one of them is odd and one of them is even. So one of the multiples on these lines has to be odd. And that must be achieved by only multiplying together odd numbers. The other one will have at least one even number in its factors. And it looks very like we're going to have to begin, the odd multiple is starting from this end of the turquoise line and the even one starting from that. The only way that could not be the case is if this was an odd digit and somehow these multiplied together to give something consecutive to that. They don't, because the absolute minimum if you multiplied all of these 3 together is 105. No, it's not. It's 35 times 3. Yes, that is 105. That's okay. Anyway, this is the odd end of the line. And this is the even end. And as soon as, well, we can't just have 1 digit there and 4 here, because we'd be vastly in excess of 3. So we've got at least 2 this end. But it could be 3. If it was 2, let's think about the possibilities. 3 times 5 is 15. To make these multiply up to 14 or 16, actually you could do that with 7 there and a 1, 2 pair here. 3 times 7 is 21. You couldn't make these multiply up to 22 because 11, a factor of 22, is not a Sudoku digit. You could make them add up to 20 by having 5, 4, 1. If it was 3 and 9, 27, these couldn't multiply up to 26 because 13 is a factor. They could multiply up to 28. Hang on. Yeah, with 7, 4, 1. So these have been 1, 2 or 1, 4 every time. Now, I do also have to consider multiplying 3 digits together on the top side. Or do I? No, we said that was 105. You can't get these 2 to multiply up to anything over 100. So I don't have to consider that. It's 2 cells this side and 3 cells this side. So there is a 1. This pair was either 1, 2 or 1, 4 in any of those iterations. And therefore they include a 1 And this digit must be a 3. And now this digit must be a 2. And now this digit must be a 6. How is this not clearing fog? Am I not right? This digit must be a 5 because it sees 1 and 3. And this is a 1. It still didn't clear any fog. Ah, we've got a 2 here. So this has become a 1-4 pair. I don't think this can be a 9 anymore because 36 was not a relevant multiple. So that is 5 or 7. 4 times 5 is 20, and that would leave a 7 here for 21. 4 times 7 is 28, and that would leave a 9 here. So this is 7 or 9. And I haven't cleared any fog, and I'm getting a little nervous now. Not only that I have more deductions to make, which is possible, but the real nervousness is that I have messed up my calculations, because they're not simple to do, especially in your head. 1, 4, 6, 3, 5, 2. So these digits are from 7, 8, 9. I haven't got any more. Well, I've got this line that, but I mean, it's boundless. Who knows where that ends or how long it might be? Oh, I've got pairs here, 6, 8 pair, 1, 2 pair, and a triple here, which is 3, 7, 9. I mean, if I knew this was all part of the same turquoise line, that would be quite interesting, but there's no way I know that. This is a struggle. This is a struggle for me to understand how I can unpick this. Okay, what was this cage containing? Either 3... no, the cage, it's a cage. It mustn't add up to a prime. Yeah, that's the rule. Right. So this was either 3, 9, and then 7 with 1, 4. And that would add up to 19. That would be a prime, so that is wrong. So it must go 3, 7, that's 21. And this must be a 5 to make 20 on the other end of the line. And now this digit becomes a 9 to complete the top row. I hadn't even really, I mean, I described this as being a cage without actually appreciating that that had rules attached. 7, 8 pair makes this a 9, and this is 7, and there's the fog clearance, finally. Whew, getting a little hairy and nervous there. Now, we've got a pill here that is the product of these two. Well, that ends in 6 or 8. It begins with 1 or 2 or 4. Okay, if it began with 1, it would be 16 or 18. You can't put 3, 6 or 2, 9 in that, so 18's ruled out. 16 would have to be 8, 2 here. That is possible. Oh, no, it's not. If you put 8, 2 there, that breaks this cell. Aha. Right, 26 is impossible because it's got 13 as a factor. 28 is possible. That would require 4 here and 7 here. Now, 38 is not possible. Oh, 3 is not possible to put in the tens digit, so that's not happening. 46 has 23 as a factor. 48 would require this to be a 6, 8 pair, and that's impossible. But keep going, because when we get to 56, there is another possibility, and that is 8 here and 7 here. And you see what that's done. It's left 7 as the only possible factor here. Let's just run through 58, 76, you're too high. It's more than 9 times 8. So that is a 7, and that's going to clear fog. Oh, apparently not. That is because 28, and I was going to say 28 doesn't work, but it does. Oh my goodness, I was so sure we were going to clear some fog. But Nightmare has something up his sleeve. Ah. 50, oh look, 56 doesn't work. Because that would be an 8. And that would be an 8 by Sudoku. Oh gosh, that's clever. So it's 28 with 4 here on the what's it. And this digit has become an 8. I mean, we're going to get a lot of Sudoku out of this. 1 and 5. Oh, look, this line is just extending and extending. This digit's a 6. Ooh, that's on a line that's almost going to have to crash into another line. Oh, I do sort of think I've run out of info now. Oh, that's going to get pretty confusing. I'm going to have to deal with a turquoise line where I have no idea of its full capacity, length, or anything. Well, this is unless I've just missed some other indication. I can't see any other cages in the grid. I eventually made that one add up to 15, which is fine. That is a composite number, not a prime. Oh, there might. It's not. It is impossible that there'd be a naked single somewhere generated in these rows. Isn't it? Yeah, it is impossible. However, these cells see 7, 1, 5, 3, 9, and 2. So they're definitely even. So maybe we can get something out of evens and odds on this long line. Ah, no, maybe we can get something here. Right. This line starts with a 4. Now, its segment can't be 1 long, because if that was a 4, the next segment would have to add up to multiply up to 5 or 3, but it would have a 7 in it. That's no good. So 4 times 7 is contributing here. And this is obviously the even end of this line. They multiply up to 28. Now, at some point on this line, we have to get to a point in the line where we're only going to get odd digits multiplying together, like 3 times 9 equals 27. However, I'm not sure I can even do the maths to prove that this couldn't all be one segment carrying on here through 1, 1, 8, and then another segment starting the other end. You'd have 56 times 4 and some other things. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the maths to kind of 224 times something, and then whether we can hit some other number. Ah, it's very tricky. There wasn't any cap in the rules on the sizes of numbers. So let me try and be explicit. What I'm worrying about is if these were all part. Let me draw an example of the sort of line I'm worried about. What if this was the first segment of the line up to there? We'd have 8 times 7 times 4 is, I believe that is 224. And we'd be multiplying another couple of digits that aren't ones, so it would be increasing up to at least 1,000. But maybe this end of the line could hit enough odd digits to multiply together to an odd number that was 1 away from this number. I mean, it seems rather implausible. But how can we absolutely rule it out? Oh, look, I've Sudoku to do instead. This clears some fog for me. Yes, there we go. Oh, dear. Okay, well, I was panicking unnecessarily. I just hadn't done the Sudoku. Right. We've got a complete line, which has its even end down here. So it's not just one cell, 6, because 5 times 2 is already 10. So it's at least 2 cells, 12 there. But multiplying these 3 together would already give you a minimum of 105 again. So we've got to multiply 3 cells from this end. It's clearly not 4 versus 1. So it's those 3 multiplying together to give something close to 35 or 15. 12 times 3 is 36, and that's a 7. 36 and 35 on that line. This digit's a 9. That cleared some fog. That's what we like to see. This digit sees 7924813. So that's 5 or 6. And that's going to give us some food for thought for this line straight away. Actually, I'm going to literally pencil mark that just because there are some eliminations from those numbers. It can't be 2 either. So here we go, 1, 3, 6 or 8 here. So what are we going to do on this line? If that was a 2, 2 times 3 is 6. That would be a 5. 2 times 1 is not enough. 2 times 6 is too many. So if that was a 2, the line goes 2, 3, 6. 2, 3, 5, sorry. If that's a 9, then you've got to multiply these 2 together to get within 1 of 9. I don't think there is a multiplication there that gives you 8 or 10. No, there isn't. So that is a 2. This is 3, and that's 5. This is now 9. Fog clears in exactly the sort of way that we require and demand. There's a 6 in one of those cells. These are from 178. Just doing a little bit of Sudoku. That can't be 7. Right, I'm going to have to think about... Oh, by the way, I can get rid of my silly orange putative line. Thank goodness now. Now, didn't we work out this had to be 4 times 7 is 28? Minimum. Now we know that this is 3 times 9 is 27. We can't get to 29. 27 is only achieved by 9 and 3. And there's more fog clearance. I like this because it keeps rewarding me as I go through. This digit is not 2. It's 4 or 8. This digit is 2 by Sudoku. This can't be 6 anymore because we put 6 in one of these. Now I'm going to have to think about Mr. 7 cell line here, the longest one I've had to deal with so far. This is clearly the even end of the line. It's good that we established there was an even and an odd end of the line. So this digit itself has to be odd, and it sees 5, 1 and 3. So that is 7 or 9. Now on its own, that's not enough. So it's got to multiply by that. And that has already given a multiplication of 63 or 81. Well, there's no 5 on this end, so 81 won't do. If you multiplied by that, you'd be absolutely out of the ballpark. 504 or 649 or 648 or something. It'd be far too many to make up the other end of the line. So it's just those 2. It's not 81, it is 63. That's a 7. 63, that end of the line. This end is going to be 64. Divided by 8 leaves 8. Divided by 2 leaves 4. That's a 4, 8 and 6 there by Sudoku. Now we can do 1 and 4. We can place an 8 here. The digits in this box are 1, 7, 6, and I can place them all. Now, I've got 1. I can do 9 and 4 at the end of this row, actually, before I look at 1, 3, 5 as a triple here. 2, 6, 8 as a triple up here. 2, 5, 6 as a triple here. I hope this is going to yield some digit or fog at some point. Yes. 3, 8, 9. Those can be 3 or 8, but this one has to be 9. Is that going to clear fog? No. This digit is a naked single. Sees 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 1 and 7. So that's a 4. This will probably clear fog. It didn't. I'm wrong again. Let's have a look at this column then. 4, 9, 2, 7, 1. That can't be 4. So look, there's a 3, 5 pair. And this digit must be 6. And this one must be 8. And that fixes 2 and 6. This might actually unwind by Sudoku from here. 5 and 2 there. That would be amazing. This is not a 5. This is not a 4. So the place for 4 in box 3 is there. Aha! One more little cage. So this is not allowed to be 7 because it's a cage. And they mustn't contain primes. So that's an 8. That's a 7. Here we go. 8 and 3. 5 and 3 now. That's a 1, 3, 5. This is 1. And we finish with a 7 in the corner. And there we go. We have gone forth and multiply. Yay, you did it. The solution code. Oh, that's, I think, if you're on Logic Masters Germany, probably. If you enjoyed this puzzle, I'd love a comment and a rating. And that's, again, on Logic Masters Germany. But thank you so much, Nightmare285, for sending that. Solve counter is 69. That's nice. But there we go. That is another puzzle done. And an absolute pleasure of a puzzle today. I did enjoy the multiplication. I got a little bit stuck just because I wasn't seeing that 2 unwound Sudoku. And that's probably where I had you shouting at the screen, perhaps. Anyway, thank you for watching, and really hope to see you again tomorrow for more Sudoku fun. Bye for now.